When examining the current global entertainment industry, one name repeatedly surfaces in conversations among executives, strategists, and analysts in the United States: Jungkook of BTS. His presence in the American market has not only solidified BTS's collective influence, but has also magnified the growing recognition of individual K-pop stars as major commercial assets. In particular, Jungkook's trajectory in the United States reveals how cultural influence can transform into corporate competition, with multinational brands vying for the opportunity to attach their name to his image. To understand why Jungkook has created a sensation in the United States and why global corporations are competing for contracts with him, it is essential to evaluate the convergence of several dynamics: the scale of BTS's American impact, Jungkook's individual marketability, the brand strategies operating in the US, and the changing expectations of consumers in the globalized entertainment economy. This analysis will show that Jungkook's current position is not merely the result of musical success, but rather the outcome of cultural relevance, brand adaptability, and consumer-driven marketing opportunities. BTS and the American market. Setting the stage. BTS entered the US music industry as an underdog in the mid-2010s. Unlike many Western pop acts, they originated from South Korea, a market often overlooked by American record labels. Through consistent digital strategies, including strong use of YouTube, Twitter, and fan-driven campaigns, BTS broke into the Billboard charts, eventually topping the Billboard Hot 100 multiple times. This achievement was not simply about chart placements. It indicated a deeper level of consumer engagement in the US audience. Within this ecosystem, Jungkook distinguished himself as the youngest member who embodied versatility. His singing, dancing, and production capabilities contributed to the group's broader narrative. However, as the American market began recognizing the global potential of BTS, it also became increasingly clear that Jungkook was uniquely positioned to carry individual appeal. His solo projects, stage performances, and collaborations captured an audience beyond the boundaries of the group's collective fame. By 2020, Jungkook's name was already appearing in international media outside of BTS-related discussions. His live streams attracted millions of viewers, his performances went viral, and his style began influencing consumer trends. This was the foundation upon which American corporations began calculating brand value. Not only was Jungkook famous, but his fame translated directly into measurable market outcomes. For American brands, the decision to associate with a global celebrity involves assessing visibility, reliability, and influence. Jungkook offers these in ways that rival and often surpass US-based pop icons. Visibility. Jungkook's media presence is extraordinary. His activities trend on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube within minutes. For US companies, this level of immediate visibility is equivalent to a multi-million-dollar marketing campaign, but achieved organically. Reliability. Unlike celebrities whose reputations can be unpredictable, Jungkook has maintained a consistent image. His career, largely free of scandals and aligned with BTS's disciplined professionalism, provides corporations with reduced reputational risk. Influence. Jungkook's influence is measurable in sales metrics. When he wears a brand's clothing or casually recommends a product, sales spikes are documented across multiple countries. American marketing strategists recognize this Jungkook effect as a rare phenomenon in modern advertising. These elements place Jungkook not merely as an artist, but as a commercial partner with proven ROI, return on investment, in a US market where advertising competition is intense and consumer attention spans are limited. Jungkook represents a guarantee of visibility and engagement. Major American brands began to intensify their efforts to secure K-pop idols, but Jungkook emerged as a particularly competitive target. Luxury fashion houses, sportswear giants, beverage corporations, and technology companies all initiated negotiations or campaigns around his image. One of the most visible cases was Jungkook's partnership with Calvin Klein, a brand historically associated with American fashion culture. His campaign images were not only released in the United States, but also strategically timed to dominate online conversations across platforms like Twitter and Instagram. The result was global coverage, with American outlets highlighting how Jungkook revitalized the brand's cultural relevance. Following this, other corporations realized that limiting Jungkook's association to a single sector, such as fashion, would mean missing out on the broader potential of his appeal. Discussions expanded into areas such as beverages, skincare, and consumer electronics industries that traditionally dominate US advertising expenditures. An important reason American corporations are competing for Jungkook lies in consumer behavior patterns. Surveys and analytics show that younger generations, particularly Gen Z and millennials, prioritize authenticity, diversity, and global representation in their consumption. Jungkook symbolizes these values. Authenticity. Jungkook's approachable personality, often seen in unscripted live streams or behind-the-scenes clips, makes audiences trust his endorsements more than traditional celebrity commercials. Diversity. As a South Korean artist dominating Western charts, Jungkook reflects the changing cultural landscape in the US, where consumers are increasingly open to international influences. Global representation. American youth culture is no longer confined to domestic celebrities. K-pop, anime, and global streaming platforms have normalized cross-border entertainment. Jungkook fits naturally into this narrative. This consumer alignment explains why brands such as Nike, Apple, Coca-Cola, and others are often rumored to be exploring or negotiating collaborations with him. In the US market, securing Jungkook is not only about his existing fans, but about aligning with the values of a generation that demands authenticity and diversity in advertising. Another crucial component is the role of American media. Outlets such as Billboard, Rolling Stone, Variety, and the New York Times have repeatedly highlighted Jungkook's solo achievements, giving him legitimacy beyond fan-driven narratives. Meanwhile, digital platforms like BuzzFeed, Teen Vogue, and Insider consistently amplify his influence in style, music, and culture. This dual coverage, serious industry press, alongside lifestyle and entertainment outlets, creates a comprehensive media presence that no brand can ignore. When Jungkook is associated with a product, coverage extends beyond simple endorsements. It becomes newsworthy, driving unpaid publicity across American media channels. From a business perspective, the reason giant corporations are competing for Jungkook comes down to scarcity and exclusivity. Jungkook cannot sign with every brand simultaneously. Endorsement contracts often include exclusivity clauses, meaning that if Jungkook represents one fashion house, he cannot represent a competitor. This creates urgency among American corporations to secure him before rivals do. Moreover, in an era where social media advertising can be unpredictable, Jungkook provides stability. His influence does not depend solely on paid promotions. His organic reach ensures that marketing efforts continue to spread even after official campaigns end. This is a highly attractive quality for corporations investing millions into advertising budgets. Jungkook's ongoing music career enhances his marketability in America. Every time he releases a solo track, collaborates with Western artists, or performs on US television shows, his visibility skyrockets. Brands associated with him during these moments experience indirect benefits, as consumer attention naturally extends to his endorsements. This creates a cycle. Music boosts visibility. Visibility increases brand value. Brand value reinforces the artist's marketability. In Jungkook's case, this cycle operates at a scale rarely achieved by Western pop stars, making him a highly desirable commercial partner. In the technology sector, Jungkook's influence intersects with the core of US consumer culture. Smartphones, wearables, and digital platforms dominate everyday life, and companies in this space are constantly searching for brand ambassadors who can embody innovation and youth appeal. Apple, as an American icon, has traditionally relied on its own design ethos and product launches rather than heavy celebrity endorsements. However, in recent years, the company has experimented with collaborations to enhance cultural engagement. Associating with Jungkook would allow Apple to connect with a younger demographic that prioritizes both creativity and global inclusivity. For Apple, the risk lies in its selective history of partnerships, but the potential payoff in US and Asian markets makes the consideration strategically viable. Samsung, while a South Korean brand, is a major competitor in the US technology market. For Samsung, securing Jungkook as a global ambassador would not only strengthen domestic brand identity, but also position the company more competitively against Apple in the American consumer landscape. The fact that Samsung has previously collaborated with BTS further increases the likelihood of pursuing Jungkook individually. Google, particularly through its YouTube and Android platforms, also represents an avenue. Jungkook's dominance on YouTube through music videos, live performances, and fan-driven content aligns directly with Google's interests in strengthening its cultural capital. A partnership in the US could amplify both Jungkook's reach and Google's positioning as the default platform for digital engagement. The beverage industry is another classic area of brand rivalry in the US. Coca-Cola and Pepsi have spent decades competing through celebrity endorsements, Super Bowl advertisements, and cultural campaigns. Jungkook's rise has added a new dimension to this competition. Coca-Cola has historically emphasized universal appeal and timeless branding. With Jungkook representing youth, diversity, and cross-cultural connection, the alignment with Coca-Cola's values would be seamless. The brand could market him as a global connector who resonates with both American consumers and international audiences. Pepsi, on the other hand, has leaned more heavily into pop culture. Its past collaborations with Beyoncé, Michael Jackson, and Britney Spears illustrate a willingness to attach itself to trending icons. For Pepsi, Jungkook would represent an opportunity to reclaim cultural relevance in the US beverage sector. A Pepsi campaign with Jungkook would likely be designed to dominate digital spaces, taking advantage of his viral reach. The competition between Coca-Cola and Pepsi for Jungkook's endorsement is emblematic of how US corporations interpret his value not simply as a musician, but as a global cultural touchstone capable of influencing consumer preferences. Beyond traditional consumer goods, the American entertainment industry itself is deeply invested in securing collaborations with Jungkook. Streaming platforms such as Netflix, HBO Max, and Disney Plus understand that Jungkook's presence in a documentary, series, or music-related project would instantly attract millions of subscribers. In fact, discussions around potential US media projects featuring BTS members have already surfaced, with Jungkook consistently at the center of speculation. For streaming corporations, the objective is clear: attach Jungkook to original content to dominate both American and international viewership. At the same time, music labels in the US have shown growing interest in Jungkook's solo career. His collaborations with American producers and artists have demonstrated strong chart performance, and this has made him a target for record label negotiations. For American corporations in the entertainment sector, Jungkook represents not only a star, but also a revenue-generating engine whose popularity cuts across geographic boundaries. What makes this competition particularly intense is the exclusivity factor. For instance, if Jungkook signs with Nike, Adidas automatically loses access to his image for its US campaigns. If Coca-Cola secures him, Pepsi is effectively shut out. This zero-sum structure raises the stakes for American corporations, pushing them to offer larger financial deals, more creative control, and longer-term commitments. Furthermore, contracts with Jungkook are not limited to traditional advertisements. US brands are exploring integrated campaigns that include merchandise collaborations, limited edition product launches, and interactive digital experiences. By embedding Jungkook into the fabric of their branding strategies, corporations aim to transform him from an ambassador into a co-creator. Another dimension of competition lies in timing. American brands want to secure Jungkook during peak cultural moments, album releases, award shows, or international tours. The closer the collaboration aligns with these high-visibility periods, the greater the return on investment. This explains why brands monitor Jungkook's schedule and announcements closely, often adjusting their marketing timelines to match his activities. The competition for Jungkook has significant implications for the US market. It signals a transformation in how corporations define celebrity value. Traditional endorsements from American actors or athletes are no longer sufficient to capture consumer attention. Instead, brands are looking globally, recognizing that figures like Jungkook bring not only domestic impact, but also international consumer engagement. This shift also underscores the growing importance of cultural diversity in American marketing. By investing in Jungkook, corporations acknowledge that the US consumer base is increasingly multicultural and globally connected. His presence validates the notion that American branding can no longer be confined to domestic icons alone. In financial terms, the bidding wars for Jungkook indicate that endorsement contracts with K-pop stars are no longer niche deals, but core strategies in corporate marketing. For some brands, securing Jungkook may be worth tens of millions of dollars annually, but the potential returns in sales, media coverage, and cultural relevance justify the investment.